have an age difference. We have life differences.
This is how you should live your life.
I got the faith, because to get the faith...
Got it. Well, let's jump into this.
This is the Old School, New School podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Old School, New School podcast. I am Will Charles Egan, and as always...
Where were you last week?
What's your name, first off?
Chris Meekins. Hey,
there,
man.
Chris, thank you. I was in Orlando, thank you very much. I was living it up on vacation with my friends.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It was
Enjoy
a very
life, man.
relaxing weekend. We went to Orlando. I've never been to... You ever been to Disney Springs before?
Yes, I think I was there.
It's like the shopping.
Yeah.
It's, I literally had one objective when I was going there. They have a Lego store and they have a Star Wars store.
Yes.
And they were like, if we let you go to the Star Wars store first, you're gonna just have a lame time. So they intentionally didn't let me go to the Star Wars outpost until the very end, because if I got what I needed, I would have just checked out.
68, 23. Okay, let's just clarify.
I bought a Lego Superstar Destroyer,
23.
Lego Superstar Destroyer Executor, and a replica Luke Skywalker lightsaber. It's pretty cool. I was fully prepared to spend like hundreds of dollars. It was actually not even that bad. But yeah, I went to buy some stuff at Disney, as one does. Went to a really nice restaurant. Went, paraded around the different resorts, checked out all the Disney stuff. Went to Orlando experience, But it was good. Stayed well within my budget. So it was a successful...
Yes.
It was a success.
Yes.
It was well worth it.
Yeah. I feel successful if we don't spend anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm very squirrely with my money.
Yes, you are. That's why you have it.
Right, exactly. I don't blow it, and I'm probably going to blow a lot of it.
So sorry that we missed last week. And last week was probably one of the more difficult weeks to talk about what's going on. I don't think that I had words. I tried to have words for my men's group.
It probably was
it
for
didn't
the
work.
Right purpose, that we waited a week, now that we've had time to process. Because right now they're having Charlie Kirk's funeral, and Donald Trump was speaking at it.
Yeah, and his wife just got off, which I watched half of it, and I was crying. And so then he came in and gave me a young person's perspective.
Yes,
it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
We may have to get our own podcast. We might have to.
And then we went, oh, wait, we have one. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk. We talked a little bit beforehand, and we're both on the same side.
Yes.
But we see things differently.
Yes.
Politically.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? I
Right.
mean, we're both in agreement.
Absolutely.
But we
100%.
see it from a different viewpoint.
I think that's a good way to put it, because, we were talking about, Jimmy Kimmel got removed from his show because of some, insensitive jokes that he made about Charlie Kirk and the MAGA gang, as he referred to it. But, lots of
fake news.
Lots of fake news. Lots of things are in the zeitgeist right now.
But you took it from a perspective of, wait a minute, this really is the First Amendment issue.
Yeah,
from your age group,
right? Specifically with that issue of Trump and his administration pressured through the FCC, because the FCC controls all the broadcasting rights and licenses. So had the federal government pressure ABC to remove Jimmy Kimmel for the insensitive comments that he made. And I said, that's an overstep potentially on your First Amendment right to be a dunce on television and be an idiot, which I think, go ahead. And if ABC wants to fire him for being an idiot on television, that's fine. I just think that the federal government shouldn't get involved in saying...
They should be more covert like they were in the last administration.
Yes, how they would secretly remove people from the air, not overtly remove people from the air.
And that's my argument. I'm like, this has been going on for the last 4 years.
Yeah, and now
all of a sudden Trump, and if that really happened,
sure, Trump does it once, and people are all up in arms.
Yeah, they're
about
up in arms. But if it was going on, and he's just like, listen, I'm going to be authentic. I'm coming after this guy. He came after me for 4 years. So that's one thing we kind of disagreed. Should I tell him? I think Disney, and they're owned by Disney, BlackRock, all these other places.
Vanguard, yes.
Yes. And they're about making money.
Oh, it's all ultimately, end of the day, just money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they may have, whoever they are,
The powers that be.
they may have just said, hey, wait a minute, we can really stick Trump with this. We can blame it on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get rid of this guy anyway.
They've been trying to get rid of Kimmel for years.
Yeah. And
'Cause
they're
ratings
like,
suck.
well, we don't want to do this and that and other thing. And Disney's trying to get people back in their parks.
Sure.
And they're trying to get more TV stations, these people.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, let's blame Trump.
Yeah. Perfect scapegoat for removing
Kimmel. It goes back to the Garden of Eden.
Yes. He did it. She did it.
He blamed her.
Yeah.
And then she blamed the serpent. It's called blame shifting.
Yep. Scapegoat. Yeah.
And so everybody's been blame shifting since that time. And so
It's always been a thing.
And so that's what I think would happen.
I think very, very reasonable assumption. Stop touching the wires.
Yeah, it was just me.
Yeah. No, I think that ultimately what we wanted to talk about, though, is, this whole, Charlie Kirk, he was the founder of Turning Point Action, Turning Point USA, Turning Point Faith. He was assassinated like a little over a week ago.
11 days ago.
Yeah. And his funeral, as we're recording this, is happening right now. The Glendale, Arizona stadium, it was filled.
It was
insane looking.
They sent people home.
Yeah, literally, they couldn't fit
no more
them.
people.
It was
100%
completely full. The stadium shot was like, holy cow.
Yeah, and
of course,
been there since,
red
they've been
shirts.
there since like noon or something like that.
Yeah,
some of the people have been waiting since 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 a.m.
Anyway,
just to get in.
So what we were going to talk about.
But yeah, Charlie Kirk, who was a outspoken conservative debater and was very instrumental in actually getting Donald Trump reelected, who has always been known as like the debate guy. He would sit in like a tent, or he would go on TV shows.
31 years old.
31 years old, father. He was known for debating people, and that was his whole MO. Was he would ask a question, or he would have people ask him a question. He would just go back and forth, and he was super articulate. And for a lot of younger, right of center, traditional, conservative, Christian people in my generation, extremely influential. Everybody in my generation at least knows who he is. And for a lot of my generation was very instrumental in getting us to vote, getting us to have very traditional values, kind of like a return to form, like a conservative revival and a spiritual revival. Everybody's been hearing that he said, the one thing I want to be remembered for is my faith. And so, again, what we wanted to talk about is, well, yes, there was a kid, Tyler Robinson, who pulled the trigger and killed him. This was very much a spiritual battle. If we're to believe Charlie Kirk was a Christian and he was helping people come to Christ and he was taken out, we can reasonably say that there's spiritual warfare going on.
When you think of Martin Luther King,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I was alive when that happened.
Yep.
He did things from a Christian perspective. He united people.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was reverend.
Yeah, and he did everything by spiritual principles.
Yeah.
And so here you have this kid, 50 years later,
mm-hmm.
doing it the same way.
Yep.
It was like, because every time you would hear him debate, he would be like, no, tell me what I said that was a lie.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that, or tell me how I was a fascist, or tell me this.
Yep.
And so, but Martin Luther King was, he wanted to bring people together. He believed in peaceful.
They did the peaceful protests a lot, the marches.
Yeah.
That was, I have a dream speech where they marched Washington D.C. He gave the iconic speech at the the memorial there, the Washington Memorial, and it's, deeply
Changed the world.
absolutely
As we know it.
changed the world. Civil Rights Act of 1964, but it was in both ways deeply political, social. Well, so in three ways, it was deeply political, it was
Yeah.
deeply social, and very deeply spiritual. And I think it's safe to say that Charlie Kirk was a very deeply political individual, obviously, socially very entrenched in changing the social narrative, and very spiritually rooted as well.
So how do we? I'm sure we'll be everywhere, but how do we have a debate? How do you have a debate with somebody and be bathed in love and truth? I mean,
Yeah.
because everybody likes to argue. I don't like to argue,
People like to argue.
but people do.
People have a
Debaters.
reason to hate. People want to point the finger.
So if I was, and it's not going to come from me. I'm a
Yeah.
baby boomer. We're done. You're like, yeah, you're done.
Go home. Take a nap.
So what are you going to do? What is your generation?
Mm-hmm.
What can it do? Because it seems like it's like hopeless. I honestly,
You
as
think
an
so?
old person, I feel hopeless.
I think so too, because I think that there's always going to be, but ultimately what I think makes it not so hopeless is there's a very small minority, but a very loud minority they're all far left of center, and they are, the people that you see celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. You see them, but to that point, there are people that are very far left of center. Like I saw an interview. There's this cool YouTube channel called Channel 5, and it's styled like, an old local news station, but it's this dude who is politically neutral, like genuinely politically neutral, just interviews people. He had the interview with Hunter Biden that went viral. This guy interviewed the guy that asked Charlie Kirk the last question before he was killed, where they were talking about like mass shootings and gang violence. And you see this guy's got a gray hoodie on and glasses, and he's asking him a question, and then Charlie gets hit. But this dude interviewed this guy that asked him that question right before he was shot, and this guy was like, he had been following him around on like the campaign trail that Charlie was doing for a while, and like regularly asking him questions, because this dude was like a mathematician, and so he was assembling all these statistics to bring to Charlie in this debate forum and say like, hey, I have some questions and some statistics that I want to bring up to you in regards to, gang violence and mass shootings. And so he's interviewing this guy who's very far left of center, and the guy's like, I fundamentally disagree with him on almost everything, but I would never want him to get murdered like that.
Yeah.
And so you do see both on the left and the right, conservative, liberal, whatever, there are a lot of people that can agree that this was not okay. And so you will have a very small minority of people, pretty much exclusively on the left, that are very loud and vocal, that are celebrating his death. And so that's why it can seem hopeless sometimes, is because you see all these crazy people.
Right.
They're very small, and I really believe that most of the people that are in that stadium right now, and even people on the left, can see this potentially as a very unifying moment in our country's history, which is unfortunate that it takes something like this. I mean, you saw unprecedented unity after 9/11.
Yeah.
Very similar type of thing. It takes a tragedy sometimes to bring the country together, whether you're on the left or on the right. So I see exactly what you're saying. It can be hopeless, and there's not a lot of hope going forward that we can mend properly from this. But I see, from what I've heard, testimonies of people going to church for the first time, praying for the first time, opening their Bible for the first time.
Our church last week was packed.
Yeah, absolutely. This can potentially lead to a revival, and I think we're seeing that. So I'm hopeful.
Well, and it could be because of my age that I really try not to bring that up on a regular basis here.
Well,
but
it's the name of our
true.
podcast.
It's true. I think that when you get older, you get tired.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
and when I was your age, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it.
That's where I'm at. Let's go to Orlando and
let's buy a coffee shop, and let's forget buying a coffee shop. Let's make a coffee shop. We started a coffee shop when I was me and Joyce, when we were like 22, 23 years old.
As one does.
In the middle of nowhere. Called it the coffee shop. This is before Starbucks and all that other stuff. And why not?
Yeah.
And then worked full time. Did it, before work, I'd get the donuts there and hired a girl and stuff like that. And so when you're younger, you have more, you're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get older, you're like, I just don't know if I have the fight in me. And I'm pretty vigorous. I have a lot of vigor.
Pretty energetic, vigorous individual. Yeah.
Look, it's this wire.
It's your stupid wire. Just kind of here. Let me help. But yeah, you're a vigorous individual.
Yes.
And you have a lot of energy for your age. Yes.
For my age. So just think other people my age are like, okay, I get it. And so what can I do? What can baby boomers
You want me to tell you what to
do to help you
Okay.
change the world from your perspective, which is, kind of it's really funny because I'm like, okay, that's so naive when you say that. But it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, we will one day.
Okay.
Ultimately, I think a lot of the burden falls on Generation X, which is, if we're speaking directly to me, Generation Z, our parents are almost primarily Generation X. And so, like, your kids are all millennials,
yes.
right? So, like, whatever, the younger generations.
Yes.
Gen Z, millennials are already having the baton handed to them. They're already in the midst of changing what the cultural narrative, because I think baby boomers, and some for a good reason, get a bad rap for having poorly handed the torch to the younger generation. Not you.
No.
But, like,
people
in general.
like me.
People like you, but not you indirectly.
Yes.
Clearly your kids love you.
Not you, but...
No, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
But boomers get the bad rap of poorly passing the baton to the millennials. Because, I mean, there was a joke when I was a kid. Just blame millennials for everything, right?
Well, yeah.
Entitled, and they're just blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
So to empower our younger generation, especially with me directly, kids that are in their 20s, mid to early 20s, and even some teenagers, I'd say what really defines our generation is this very distrustful, anti-establishment, creating our own path kind of mentality. I mean, more than ever, you see fewer and fewer Gen Z kids going to colleges and getting degrees. More and more are starting their own businesses, being entrepreneurial, becoming Christians, whereas their parents and grandparents weren't.
Right. I got an education.
It's edgy and cool to be a Christian now. It's countercultural to be a Christian. Isn't that funny? From your generation to mine, that's completely flipped, because there was a whole generational gap where Gen X was completely atheist almost.
Yeah.
So now it's countercultural to be a Christian.
We'll get calls from Gen X people going, what the hell are you
What are you talking about? We aren't the worst. Mom and Dad, sorry. But I think with this, with this mentality that we have, a problem that a lot of younger kids get is being a little too nihilistic, where it's like, it's not just that we're going to do everything our own way because the establishment is bad. It's like everything is bad. Sometimes kids my age will get like this, there's no meaning to life. Everything is just terrible. I'm going to just do my own thing and say, just screw this. I think to empower my generation and everybody under the sound of my voice, I think what we really need is we want to be heard, really. Because we're so sick of the way that things have been. We're pissed. My generation's pretty pissed. At large, we're pretty pissed. And one of the best ways...
Just because I own like a bunch of houses and don't use them for anything.
Exactly.
And you can't afford...
Screw you. We are getting no affordable housing, and it's your fault. No, but
Especially here in Florida.
Oh, exactly. And I'm here like, how am I going to afford a home? But, we have all these problems, and we have all these things, and we have a terrible knack for not socializing. I think really what we want to do, even if it isn't giving us the answers, we just want to be heard. A lot of my generation has a lot of problems, and that can be ailed just from catharsis, which is this, just me word vomiting at you. If you just listen to what we have to say, and then you can take your traditional wisdom and apply that and say, here's what I did, sharing your testimony, sharing some advice.
rather than going, no, you're wrong. You have to do it this way.
Because for eons, boomers have been known as the ones that just point the finger and go, "You're bad. You're evil. You're wrong."
I have a book that I want to read. It's not on the Bible. It's not. It's
What?
the greatest salesman in the world by Henry Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever read that?
I know it. You've mentioned it too.
So anyway, in the one part, he talks about old men telling their wives, and I wish I had it because it's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like that's how they did it 20 years ago. That's how they do
Right.
it 50 years ago. That's how they did it in the world today. 3 years ago,
Yeah.
or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden I have AI and I can do anything, like as in sales and marketing and things like that. It's like insane.
Yeah.
And so, but here I am, this rich old guy going, yeah, but you know what I did? I knocked on doors and I got out there and I did, which probably would still work,
Right.
maybe,
But times have changed.
but times have changed.
Sure.
And people, like, someone knocks on my door. Someone knocked on our front door the other day, and my wife's like, don't answer it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Why?
Wait a minute.
What
do we-
happened?
Why do we have a doorbell there?
Yeah.
It's like, ding dong, and she's like, no, don't answer.
You're
And
not
I'm like,
invited.
you don't never know who it is.
You never
Are you
notice.
kidding me?
UPS they don't knock on doors anymore.
Oh, no. They just
Amazon, they don't knock on your door anymore.
They take a picture and send you an email
Exactly.
immediately.
Which is cool, but
I mean, she's sitting in there, and she looks at, oh, wait a minute, I just got a package. I can go to the door. That guy that was knocking, it was a UPS.
instead of interacting, you can just look at your phone and
Yeah.
again, I'll go off about phones, but to bring us back, it's like, yeah, if you're given advice, just make sure it doesn't sound super dated.
Or just listen and don't have an answer, even though you
Yes.
have an answer.
Yes.
And I know when we go into these, some of these groups that I belong to, they call them a Holy Spirit group, where they just sit around, they'll read a section of the Bible,
Yeah.
and then they'll just talk about it.
That's great.
And, some of the answers are kind of out there, and some are not. And some people are out there, and some people keep on talking. And I keep on saying, shut up. Just keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. And try to say, just like them, this is what my opinion of what this is saying
Right.
is, and let it go. It's not that I need to be, as an old person, I need to be heard,
Yeah.
but I don't need to be acknowledged as, oh my gosh, this is the best thing that was ever said here
Right.
in the entire universe, right?
Right.
So listening to that. So I don't know.
Learning to listen is powerful because a lot of the time, again, we just need to be heard. Some of my generation just needs a hug. Like,
Oh my God.
we're very broken. And,
No hugging.
Right. See, that's the thing with a situation like Charlie Kirk's death is this could go one of two ways. If we don't mend and heal properly, we could become even more embittered and even more angry, vengeful. And we can, like, again, I'm saying we're very anti-establishment. We can point the finger even more and become even more like, this is why this doesn't work because everything's terrible and everything's bad. Or you could use that as a moment of like, hey, let's be vulnerable. No, but like, let's be vulnerable. Let's ask those questions. Let's go there. What's on your mind, kid?
So tell the audience the answer to the question that I don't have, that you don't know about yet. No, like, what am I going to do?
Like, what's
What
Chris
am I going
Meekins?
to do? People say that. What am I going to do?
Right. Yes.
And how do you get over that from a Christian standpoint, or just from a concerned person standpoint? How do you get over how am I at 50 years old, 60 years old, 30 years old? How am I going to make a difference when I haven't done that? I don't have anything spectacular to give to, you listen to this, Charlie, and it's really funny. Everybody talks to him like he was their best friend.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Exactly.
Everyone's like, yeah, when Charlie did this, when Charlie did that. Like, you don't even know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, when Charlie did,
Well, again,
as if he was
so
my friend.
influential. Yeah.
But he was. It must have been God.
Mm-hmm.
God's hand must have been on him.
You think so?
What do you got?
To answer your question of like, how do I feel for this, right? How do I find it within myself to have empathy for this, or sympathy at least for the situation? Because it's like, what am I going to do, right? There's a verse in the Bible. It's John 11:35. It says, Jesus wept. That's the whole verse.
No.
Jesus wept.
No crying in baseball.
Right, exactly. But that was from a death.
Okay.
Jesus' friend, Lazarus, he wasn't killed, but he died from a sickness.
Yeah.
He had the ability to heal, and he didn't for the reason that he could show his glory all the more when he resurrected him from the dead. But Jesus had a heart for his brother that had died. And he wept over that. Like,
I'm going to go get something. I can't even see.
What is the book?
You got to just keep on talking.
Is it The Greatest Salesman?
No, I got something else for you. I got good stuff.
Well, this is a first, having you leave mid-podcast.
Talk about something.
I'll talk. So, yeah, Jesus wept because if you feel your heart's been hardened, or, you find that it's hard to process something or to even care about something like that, Jesus himself was a very passionate individual. He cried. Men don't cry.
Right.
He cared. He had a heart, and he cared for situations like that.
So mourning is good.
Mourning is good, but not just mourning. Then Jesus did something about it too. Obviously, it's like
He raised him from
the dead, which is a pretty tall order, But he had some action about it, and he comforted. I think it was Mary. Yeah, he comforted Mary. He was there for those that loved Lazarus as well.
He participated in the mourning of that, and then he's like, okay,
Absolutely.
watch it. Dude.
And then he said,
watch
this.
Yeah. Watch this.
So what you got?
So I'm kind of answering my own question.
Okay.
As you have figured out over the last 2 years, we do not prepare a lot for this. Because we want it to be, hey, this is two guys talking, and we become good friends.
Yeah,
we talk at least once a week, and we're good.
And then I say goodbye.
Anyway, but I probably know more about you than most.
Yes, you do.
Which is interesting. Again, he's old enough to be my grandson.
Yeah, I'm 24 now. For the
but still, that would make you. How many years younger than me?
Well, you're 68. 44.
4 years. Yeah. I was done having, Anyway, so this week I've been like, okay. You're going to fire me.
All right. Why'd you preface with that?
So on Monday, we got this. One of this guys has they call it the prayer platform, and there's like probably 15 guys close to my age up there. Maybe some guys in their late 40s to late 60s. Anyway, so they were talking. They were talking about this, and I just felt like God was like saying, here's the thing that you have to do. You have to figure out, you have to ask God, what am I going to do about this? Mm-hmm. And just giving your 10% or giving your tithe to your church, or giving, if you don't tithe, you tip, you give your tip to, and that the church is going to take care of it.
Right.
That I don't think that stands anymore.
Okay.
You've got to say, okay, God, what do you want me to do?
Right.
And maybe there's a young person that you need to invest in. I'm not saying financially. I'm not saying not financially. I'm saying finding someone that you believe can make a difference, and they want to make a difference. And because a lot of guys on this platform have a lot of money.
Yeah.
You can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
In their lives. And so maybe you just support them or something like that. And it's going to take something more than just going, I'm mad about it and I'm pissed about it.
Right.
And the church needs to take care of somebody and younger. So what do you do? In my case, I think God ordained this podcast 2 years ago for a time like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this whole 2 weeks I've been like, praise God that I'm doing this podcast with Will.
Yeah. same thing. I really look forward to this.
Yeah.
For myself as well.
But do you believe that it's God using your voice in a way that you couldn't have done it without me?
Well, this was all your idea.
Okay.
Here we go. Don't disqualify yourself.
Yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is, do you believe that other people could do it too? It's like this is like probably too arrogant, but
I know you're getting at. I don't have an answer. No, I don't think so.
You couldn't have done it without me.
No. And I don't think other people can just do this.
Right. And it's just happens to be that my natural gifting and your natural gifting worked together
perfectly for this.
And so that's when you have to say, a lot of these things are bigger than myself. They're obedience to God.
Yeah.
God says, hey, you should start a podcast. Okay.
All right.
God says, why don't you ask Will? Okay. Hey, Will, you want to do a podcast? Will goes, okay, you creepy old man. What do I got to come over your What do I got to come over your house? Okay, all that to say, and again, I'm certainly not tooting my horn. What I'm trying to do is say to the audience is that maybe this voice that you're hearing of something, maybe it's going to the high school to be a mentor. Mm-hmm. And a time like this when these kids are like, hey, and so I really am not trying to blow my own
I don't care.
horn.
Nobody
I know
cares.
you don't care, but they do.
They don't care.
I signed up for the Big Brothers, Big Sisters program.
Oh, you did?
At Riverview High School.
Okay, awesome.
And so I'm going to be a mentor to some some freshmen that's looking for an adult man's influence in his life.
Good for you, dude.
I'm like, okay, what do I got to do?
What do you have to do?
Now you got to show up. Well, for the first couple of weeks, you just show up and they give me a donut and all the kids are in the room and you're in the room, which is how I reached the kids at the church.
Exact same way.
They don't want to talk to you.
See, that was equipping for this, just being in the room.
Isn't that crazy?
No, it's actually not, because it's exactly how God works. He will use a past season, what you learned, being in Bayside Youth, just being in the room.
And the kids I'm walking the room, they're chanting, me, God, right? I didn't do anything. They'd have me teach every once in a while, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is probably the stupidest thing you ever heard in your life.
No, yeah.
But what I'm saying is obedience.
Yeah.
So I'm dominating here again, sorry. But me as an adult, it's called being obedient to doing what God's telling me to do right now.
Right.
And so this week, I have been stressed out. I got this car wash thing going on. I got my father-in-law fell again this morning. Always on a Sunday, and always when Joyce is going to go out of town. She's going out of town next week.
Oh, my Lord.
So he's in the hospital right now. She's there visiting him.
Yeah.
Get a call this morning. So, and then I got you.
You got to deal with me.
You know, I got all this other stuff. But this week I'm like praying, God, what am I going to do? So I feel, okay, this is what I felt like God saying. You need to start being obedient to doing what I tell you to do. And I've said that a million times before. But because I'm so ADD, right?
Yep.
Hear an amen about that.
Amen.
I have to make a plan because I forget it.
Okay.
So the other day I was walking and praying, and I felt it's like you got to get Chris's perfect day back. But it's old. Yeah. It's old. So Joyce and I sat down.
Oh my God.
So as we sat down. So Joyce makes it.
Yes.
You know, there's people that I know that are like, I don't care what Joyce thinks. I don't want to hear about Joyce. Here's the funny thing. Uh-huh. I was going to strangle her last night. We got in such a big fight. But here I am today because she kept on telling me what to do. We went out on the boat. We got the Freedom Boat Club.
Yeah.
And it was 5:00 at night. I said, hey, you want to go on the boat? She goes, oh, okay. And then I said, you want to go here? And she said, well, I don't want that boat. I want this boat. And I'm like, okay. She goes, let's get a sandwich. You want to get Jimmy John's? No, I want to go get Bimpley. And then we're going in the water. She goes, oh, you need to go to the left. Oh, you need to go. And I'm like, shut your mouth.
Did you actually?
Yes. And by the time I got in the car after
this is my mentor,
wonderful 2-hour cruise, sunset, it was an amazing thing. I'm like, listen, you just can't be so bossy. Yet, the next day, I praise God. I'm like, praise God we did that yesterday because today's been a nightmare.
Hell, yeah.
With being at the hospital all day. But the day before that, she sat down and she said, okay, let's make this new thing. And so
Holy cow.
the way it works
This
out
is so
it's
Joyce.
It's so Joyce.
This is
It's
hilarious.
called Chris's Perfect Day.
Yep.
And so I just know that if I do certain things every day, it's going to be a great day.
Man.
So I have my notes over here on the side, and on this side it has the top 10 things.
Your wife is the best.
If I
this
can
is
get
great.
these top 10 things, so top 10. One is to have a quiet time.
And then
My
send the
scripture
text. Yeah.
or text, send texts to people.
I got one.
Exercise, that's like great. If I get an exercise, then that's going to be a great day. So check that one off. And these are always walk or weights or whatever. Minimum maintenance. So around our house, if you come to our house, it's pretty clean all the time. Well, there's this thing in the morning you do minimum maintenance. That means pick up after yourself, you old
Slob,
man, you old slob. You can see
Slovenly.
You can see where I sit
Yes.
at my house. There's like chips everywhere. Clean up. And Wednesday night, take out the trash because I forgot to take out the trash again last week. What needs to happen at the car wash? What could I do? So I see it here. I'm like, yeah, I need to either call Kurt or Roman or do some whatever, and it just stimulates my mind.
Okay.
So I
Checking
paid a
all these
bill,
things.
checked it off. Real estate. I did something for real estate because I have my real estate license. Remax, call me. And ministry. These are the ministries I do. And I
Got a lot going
I
on,
go,
man.
I don't do anything. I don't count any of this, right?
But when you see it in front of you, it changes everything.
So do I have to do anything about Galvanize, the podcast, the discipleship group that I'm doing, the small group that I'm doing, and the coaching that I'm doing, personal growth? Is there a book that I need to read or just review? Family, call my kids, visit my father-in-law, my brothers and sisters, home maintenance, and then you can write in there. But here's the thing: when I do this, I'm focused and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be obedient to doing the things that God called me to do. And I have a list over here, calls and texts. And when I get done with that, I feel more peace.
Okay.
Because I'm not anal retentive. I'm not. Did
Really?
you know that?
I don't believe you.
I had to have her make this.
Yeah, that's true. You would have never done this.
It would have never happened. And then there's like a don't forget thing. And,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and
yeah.
like I'll move it. So all that to say is that when we do, these are things that I know that God's kind of told me to do. And so I've made it easy for myself to say, if I were God and I wanted to have a great day, these are things that I do.
Okay.
And I think that's the same thing that we have to do in our lives spiritually, especially now.
Especially now. Like you're talking about.
We're in a spiritual battle.
With this empowering younger people.
Our struggle
battle.
is not against flesh and blood.
Yeah.
This guy, he made Charlie Kirk into a legend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's going to blow up. I mean, they talk about these turning points across 60-some thousand people.
Probably be a statue somewhere.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But when we do what we're supposed to be doing, and even if you're dysfunctional like me or you're ADD like me, you can have things that will help you.
Right.
Because I really want to accomplish what God's called me to do. And sometimes I need a reminder. Because quite honestly, when I walk to the other side of the bed in our bedroom, I don't see those underwear on the floor anymore. And they're out of my mind.
There you go.
So, walk around the house, pick up.
Yeah.
Why? Because I love my wife.
Yes.
And I can pick up after myself.
So what I'm hearing is if you want to be a better man or woman to empower others better, sometimes you first have to be a better person for yourself.
Get your life in order.
Get your life in order. Then the ministry flows naturally.
Yeah, and do the things that you love to do.
Yeah.
All these things I love to do.
Yeah.
I actually feel empowered when I get those things done.
This is really cool.
Well, and then when I do it, I'm empowered.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This is revolutionary.
I need one of these. This is good.
She'll make it for you. You just have to just sit down because
Right.
that's what she does. She could be the nicest person I've ever met in my whole life. I tell you why I married her, because
You
she
got
bought
it
me a
perfect.
pack of cigarettes.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Why would she buy me a pack of cigarettes? I'm like no good, evil person.
Because she loves you.
She like, no, I'll pay. I'm like, I'm going to marry that woman.
Wow.
Okay. I know, it's sick.
That's hilarious.
It's sick. Been married 46 years.
It worked.
Back to, I think that being in a relationship, a mentoring, mentee relationship helps you to be the person that God's created you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then the person you're with is like, okay, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You make me. I go to this one discipleship group with this kid.
Mm-hmm.
This guy does the work, and he does his homework, and I sit there. Sometimes they ask me my opinion, but it's only for accountability because I'm there. This kid's going to do his work because he's like, I'm making Meekins come here at 3:00 on a Tuesday afternoon.
Oh,
I better do my
better
work.
do it because Meekins is coming. The fear of God.
But I get the privilege of doing it with people, and so I guess to get back to what you were saying, listen to people and what they're asking you.
Yeah.
And
make yourself available.
And how do I make it happen for you, right?
Yeah.
That's what my prayer should be. Will said this yesterday. How can I help him accomplish that?
Yeah. Yeah. And it can be hard sometimes too, because with the younger generations, we just have no idea how to voice our feelings and what we want, and we're all so confused and distracted. We're all very distracted, and so it can be hard figuring out what we truly want. But I mean, really deep down, if I could offer encouragement, the thing that we want the most is to be seen, to be heard, listen, and if necessary, if appropriate, offer advice. And like in your case with your discipleship with this one guy, your majority of what you're doing is you're in the room.
I'm in the room.
You're just there in the room.
You know that I've never thought of that. What did I do at the youth group? I was in the room. What did I do with Harry? I'm in the room. What did I do at the high school? I'm in the room. What do I do here? Talk too much. No. But in a relationship when you're with somebody,
that's what you're good at.
You have to be in the room.
Yeah, that's what you're good at. For some people, it's not in the room. For some, it's behind the stage of the room.
And again, probably there's a lot of you out there like me. I don't count that.
Right.
I'm like, well, I didn't have to do anything. No, you were in the room. That's
for you.
All that matters.
Yes.
So how do you be in the room for the next generation? I mean, you've got to start thinking that too, because you're getting pretty old.
Hey, whoa, I'm 24. Chill out, man.
Is there any gray hair up there yet?
I thought I saw some gray hair over here this morning, and I was like, oh, thank God, it's just the lighting. Whew. I don't know if it was just stress or the lighting or I'm getting old. I'm 24. I'll be fine. No. How am I going to be in the room? I know a couple of younger individuals that I can be mentors for, that I am to a degree. I'm sure I could be doing more, but I really believe that my biggest, long distance calling is obviously writing and speaking. So continuing to nurture that every day, but I don't want to get just caught up and lost in that, because there are ways to mentor in my day-to-day life, to pour into people today, not tomorrow, because the book is tomorrow. Right now, it's being in the room for people, talking to people. I mean, I do best, I think, when I talk to people, especially lately. I've been getting a lot of, the Lord's been telling me that, I am the salt and the light of the world, I really like that passage because it's super poignant, and I think it's very encouraging for somebody like myself, to my skill set, what I like to do, to be the salt of the world. When he talks about if salt loses its saltiness, what good is it for? It is to just be trampled underfoot. What he's saying, Jesus, is the purpose of salt. I mean, if you just eat salt, it's awful. It's terrible.
Right.
But salt is to bring out the flavor in food, to make so it makes the vigor of life abundantly more poignant and abundantly more flavorful, if you will. So to be the salt of the world is to make everything, daily interactions, conversations, helping people, so much more alive and full. Jesus says that he came to bring life, and life to the fullest. And that's what I think being the salt of the world is. In everything that I do, in every little thing, I make my conversations full of salt. I bring out the flavor in conversations. In serving people, I do as much as I can to bring out the salt in that servitude. And being the light is bringing Jesus into that. I witnessed to a dude in the gym the other day, Garrett and his younger brother. And it was just from having a conversation and being alive and having a smile on my face and being just a good-natured young kid in the gym. That's being the salt. And I think for somebody that's like you or me or somebody that's listening, whatever being the salt is, bringing the vigor in life or bringing the light to the world, showing the gospel of Jesus Christ, that's really how we can, in our day-to-day lives, in the little things, not big picture, but in the little things, I think that's how we could bring more people to Jesus.
Yeah. So I think a lot of this is just now what? Now what do I do?
Yeah.
We're at a turning point in our, which is an amazing, interesting that was the name of his ministry or his company or whatever.
Ministry is a good word for it.
But we're at this turning point in life is to be obedient and do what you know that God's told you to do.
Absolutely.
And then just like, okay, I'm going to do things that I always thought that I should do or could do, and I'm going to do them. And God, you're going to have to bless it, because without God, the Holy Spirit, Charlie Kirk could have never done what he was going to do.
Yeah,
you're really looking at a spirit-filled man, because the wisdom that he had was just beyond measure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and you remind me of that. You're like, sometimes you say stuff, including today. I'm like, how does he know this stuff? But without God, without the Holy Spirit, you can't do this on your own. You cannot do this on your own. I cannot have a good quiet time on my own. I cannot exercise on because my flesh goes, nah,
Right.
minimum, nah. Car wash, forget that. That's failing. Real estate, that's no good. We're bad for ministry. Hey, I'm not paid for being a pastor. Personal growth, I'm old. I don't need to do that anymore. Family, they don't want to talk. They're only after my money, And home maintenance, it's going to burn down anyway. Ideas and dreams, you're too old to have dreams. I could be no right there.
Right.
Or I could say, God, I want to see what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. And you show up in all these ways, God.
If I show up,
yeah,
he shows off.
Ooh. Write that one down. If you show up, he shows off. I'm sure somebody said that one before, but that's a good one.
No, I invented
it. Right, of course you did.
I'm writing it down if I
write
had
it
a
down.
pen.
There's no pen.
All right, wrap us up.
This is a turning point in the Western world, not just our country, but the whole Western world, and we can either capitalize off of the revival that we see here. And I think what that is find what it is that you do best, that you truly believe that God has called you to, steward it to the best of your ability, and make sure that God is involved in every intimate detail, because you can only do so much on your own.
Yeah.
But if you invite God into the picture, he'll change your life and others' lives around you.
Amen.
Amen.
See you next week.
Peace.